Hi, everyone. Second post for this class. We're going over a information stack today, and really this is a standard client server setup. You've got your backend server, you've got a data backup, so you've got a bit of resiliency. There's different clients with different phones attached. It looks like it's VoIP in this example. There's also barcode readers for possibly labeling inventory, and we've got a couple of network printers. Other than that, if you look at the diagram, it shows that the switch and the VPN router aren't a picture, and they're really just kind of a square listed item. So in this case, they could be virtualized. They might not. I think for this example, they mean for those to actually be physical devices. So really, in this setup, it's location A really makes up your primary location. Location B is more of a slave site, and they've got their DSL connection connecting to a service provider to establish a connection between the two sites. That really puts together your LAN and WAN separation and gives you the ability to do, whatever operations are being done for this use case for each location. Really, for equipment that could be eliminated, the phones appear to be VoIP already. And in this case, if they are VoIP, you could integrate them into the client and just have a headset rather than having an actual physical phone device. You could also replace the clients with thin clients or zero clients, depending on what software you have. And you could actually make that a lot more slimlined and possibly more secure. It could also end up being cheaper in the long run. And that could work as more of like a software as a service setup. And offer a bit more, resiliency that way, because you can just swap out whatever thin client it is and it's one unified device. You could eliminate the switch if you wanted to and make it wireless, and that way it could come directly from the router. I recommend against that. Wired connections are generally a bit more secure and they just have a better performance. But depending on the use case here, it may be better for the client to be mobile and be a thin client that is connected via Wi-Fi. So you could do it depending on the use case here. You almost always generally want to have a router so you can have a firewall built in and establish that secure VPN connection. But depending on how this is set up, you could virtualize that. You can build a router just as easily in VMware as you can build anything else. There's also a server that could be moved to the cloud along with the backup. So you've got a cloud platform as a service, and then you've got your backup that's resiliency built right into the service package. Depending on the company's demarcation point of control preference, that may or may not be an option. And lastly, it looks like they're using a barcode system. You could move that more to a more modern RFID or QR code, just to have that be a bit more secure, maybe a bit more versatile in the way that you use it. That's kind of what my recommendations are going to be. And, this is a pretty standard stack. It's got a lot of different connections here. They could be removed if made wireless. I prefer wired, and it's got several different devices that could be made just a bit more streamlined, but you end up with maybe less physical devices, but more virtual devices. But you do end up with most of what's in this stack, regardless of which route you go. So that's my video. I appreciate any feedback. Thanks, everyone.